Hey everybody, video number 27 in my Richard Laymon horror novel review series. Today I'm talking about The Glory Bus from 2005. So there is Steve Crisp's great cover art. It's the second of his Wild West themed cover art after Savage. 442 pages, and here is the back, which says, "One moment, Pamela is a contented newlywed with a loving husband. The next, she's the prisoner of a repulsive killer who has lusted after her since high school. Norman wouldn't say boo to a goose, so he's never going to throw bad boy Duke or hitchhiker Boots out of his car. Together, the lawless pair take him on a journey that's heading straight for the electric chair. But then the glory bus drives by, offering escape and a hope of salvation to all, and Pamela and Norman are two of those who ask to climb aboard. They don't know their destination will be the furnace heat of the Mojave Desert, where a special welcome awaits them. It can't be worse than what's gone before, can it?" It can indeed. Now, The Glory Bus was published in 2005. It's the last novel to have been published under Richard Laymon's name. 4 years after his death. He died in February 2001. This came out in 2005. So the usual question I ask myself with these posthumous novels is, did Richard Laymon actually write this? My answer to that question is as follows. There's a scene towards the end of this book where the late adolescent boy Norman, he tumbles down a mine shaft with this very beautiful young woman, and they land on top of a huge pile of putrefying, decomposing corpses. And the way Laymon describes it is really nauseating, because there's decomposed body parts everywhere. They're covered in the filth of corpses. The stench of death is in the air. It's pitch black. The heat is suffocating. And throughout all of this, our kind of hero Norman here is constantly trying to catch a glimpse of the young woman's breasts, and he's getting an instant erection amid this pile of filth. Remember the pit of death from Argento's film Phenomena? Like that, basically. That's what they're in here. And whereas Jennifer Connelly in Phenomena couldn't wait to get out of it, our Norman here has got sex on his brain. The point I'm making here is, yes, Richard Laymon did write this. But the second question is, did he assemble it in this way? And no, I don't think he did. I think this is similar to Amara, which I reviewed a short while ago, another one of his posthumous books. I think that what's happened here is that his publishers or his family have gone through his drawers again to try and find anything that was left over that they hadn't already used. And somehow they've cobbled this together. But what's really strange is that whereas No Sanctuary and Amara and The Lake, his other three posthumous novels, weren't all that great, this was fantastic. So however this has been put together, well done to all involved. But mainly well done to Laymon, because he certainly did write the elements of this. This has his signature all over it. Every page is stamped with his style. My guess what's happened here is that maybe previously, Laymon had a lot of novels rejected throughout his career. And I guess that the part of this book dealing with the commune, where the Glory Bus is heading, I get the sense that was maybe a short novel from his early career which was rejected. Because there are certain things that kind of date this book. There's one part where Norman there, he laments that he's not a heartthrob like Johnny Depp. Now, I don't quite remember when was Johnny Depp considered to be the heartthrob, but I think it was late 80s, early 90s, something like that, before he was supplanted by DiCaprio and Brad Pitt and guys like that. There's reference to the TV show Friends. The David Letterman show is referenced. There's certain things where you can maybe pinpoint roughly when this was written, but it sure as hell wasn't written, in my opinion, towards the end of his career in the 2000s, the late 90s. So, yeah, I think maybe that's what's happened here. They've taken maybe a novella from here, an unpublished short story from there, a rejected novel from here, and they've just somehow found a way to put it all together. But it really does work. Unlike with Amara, where I said it just really feels like a Frankenstein's monster, this is a cohesive, coherent narrative, and it flows so well. It's not really worth going into what the story is, because that covers it well on the back. It's, there's Pamela who is kidnapped by this maniac, but she ends up escaping him, and this weird glory bus thing turns up and drives her off to this commune. The other part of the story is Norman. He falls in with Boots and Duke, these two widows. They take him on a Bonnie and Clyde journey across the western United States of murder and mayhem. That culminates in the glory bus coming along and driving them off to this commune, and then we find out what the commune itself is and how it operates and who exactly is there. Yeah, it flows so well. I never wanted to stop reading this. And what I like about this book is that the characters, by Layman standards, aren't as one-dimensional as usual. Specifically, the bad boy of this, his name is Duke, the second Layman character to be called Duke after the guy from Funland. By Layman standards, this is a pretty well-drawn psychopath. I think that Layman handles the kind of chilling Jekyll and Hyde nature of a psychopath very well here with Duke. He has the superficial charm going on, but he can turn in an instant and just become this dead-eyed, cold-blooded lunatic who can do awful things to people. That was really effective. I can't, off the top of my head, think of a better Layman villain in terms of how well it's depicted, how realistically it's depicted. I also have a lot of affection for the female character in this called Boots. Now, she's such an odd character. Like, Layman is pretty offensive in how he describes her. He's always describing her as a pig. Norman, I should say, the guy who's fallen in with her, he's simultaneously attracted to her and repelled by her. He finds her disgusting. He's always talking about how she resembles a pig. She's overweight. Her face has these piggish features. But at the same time, he can't stop wanting to have sex with her. And the sex that they have is, well, on the one hand, it's kind of cringy, but it's also unlike anything Layman's described before. So, I don't know, for some weird reason, I had a lot of sympathy for this Boots character. She's one of my favourite Layman characters. Yeah, so it's just a very odd read as well. It's such a surreal narrative. It's the kind of thing that, Bentley Little would write. In terms of the setting, it's also something different for Layman, because usually his books take place in one place, but here the narrative moves around quite a bit from place to place. I think we go from Oregon to California. We move around the states a bit, which is again a new thing for Layman. It tends not to do that. So all in all, I mean, not a great deal more to say about this, except that it's the best of his posthumous books. However it came to be, I am happy that it did come to be. It's a huge improvement on Amara. I've no idea why they decided to release this 4 years after his death rather than immediately after, instead of, let's face it, not great stuff like No Sanctuary or Amara. But anyway, for whatever reason they did. There's some sadness in the end here. The very last line of the novel references death and the afterlife. So reading that in the context of knowing there would never be another line from Richard Laymon is a little bit sad. It also makes me think that maybe that's something which an editor or his publishers threw in there as a kind of nod to his fans, like this really is the end now, there's no more to come. But yeah, I read this with great pleasure, but also a feeling of sadness that this would be the last word from the great man. But it's not the last word from me on the great man, because we've still got a bunch of reviews to come. 27 this is, there's 35 in total, so 8 more to come. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. Tomorrow is Halloween, so have a really great day, however you celebrate Halloween. Until then, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.